Hello and welcome to the Dutch Reenactor podcast. My name is Rafael and I host this podcast together with Bjorn.
Hi, everybody.
Hello Bjorn, welcome in the English episode.
I'll try to do my best because we're used to Dutch.
And with this episode, we want to introduce a little experiment on the Dutch Reenactor podcast. So first, like I already said, now in English, but usually this podcast is Dutch spoken. But since we want to address a broader public, we will be doing this experiment in English. But for our Dutch listeners, I have to say, don't be afraid. The usual podcast will remain in Dutch most of the times, like it already was before.
Except for those few times that we recorded it in English. But that's just few and far in between. Yeah.
Yeah, we had two earlier episodes in English.
Yeah.
One with Christoph and one with the owner of Verlag Kopf.
Yep.
So, again, I want to say we will do the usual podcast in Dutch, but this will be in English. And then we can go on to the experiment itself. And within our reenactment group, the Volkskendieren, we do a lot of photo analysis. When someone posts a picture on our Discord server, we try to look for context and peculiarities in these pictures.
Yep.
And we do this for fun, but also to learn about the war and to learn about our own impression. And of course also to learn what we need to look for in these pictures.
Yes. And context. But that's for later. Yeah.
Yeah. So we thought, let's spread our knowledge to the public by doing such an analysis live. And if this experiment will be a success, we will try to host a photo analysis episode every week. And that will be then the week we do not publish a regular episode. And also we try to keep this analysis short at a maximum of 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But this episode might be a little bit longer because of the introduction, of course.
No worries.
Yeah, and before I forget, because we will use video in these episodes, you have to see the picture, of course, otherwise we can't talk about it. We will host these episodes only on YouTube and not on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, of course, because there's no video in Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So then that's all that we needed to say about the experiment, the introduction. I think we can go on with the picture, right?
Yep, the picture that you haven't shown to me before.
No, indeed. I prepared the picture with Gefreite Ulbricht of our group. He has a lot of knowledge about these things. And we decided that I should prepare myself. And that, we will let you answer the questions as you see it without knowledge beforehand.
He also manages to always find the weirdest picture, so I'm prepared for anything at the moment.
Yeah, and if this project will be a success, then let's see which weird pictures we will get more.
Yeah. So,
then, when we start to analyze a picture like this one, you see in the screen right now, we start first at what year was this picture taken. And because you don't know anything about the picture, I will ask the question to you, Bjorn. If you see this picture, what year do you think this was taken?
Well, without going into details why I think so, the minimum is somewhere in 1943, but my actual guess is somewhere mid-late 1944.
Okay, and what gives it away?
Lack of boots, cap.
Yeah, I will point at the boots, but I think people will find them.
Yeah.
Or the leg thereof.
Don't point out the left boots yet, because those are weird as well for a different reason. And
this one, yeah.
And you have a caps mixed in with a chiffon somewhere, and straight flaps on the uniforms from some of these people, which indicate
straight flaps. Where do you see straight flaps?
The one on the right.
I go to the right.
Yeah, the pocket, the chest flap.
Sorry, the pocket flaps. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that gives away that it is an M43 style uniform, right?
Well, the collector's item, collector's stock M43, because there was no such distinction in the war. But yes, that was introduced in 1943. Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes you say that it is at least 1943,
Yeah.
but you had the guess that it would be somewhere in 1944. And why do you think not 1944?
That has to do with the fact that we're currently looking at. Let's see. I see somebody from a Luftwaffe person sitting in the middle. There's probably how do you call it? The Felddivisionen. And that was actually the biggest giveaway, with a mix of certain types in between, and the fact that they're all missing their combustion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's also something we will get to later on in this episode. So you would think 1944 somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we will write that down, and we will see later on if you are right. Next question is, where do you think this picture was taken? And of course, where do you see it from?
I would say France.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
The guy right in the back with the soft cap on. That doesn't really look like somebody from Eastern Europe.
Okay. Yeah. Can you say something about architecture? As an engineer yourself?
Yeah, that's difficult to see. You don't see enough of the building itself, but I can see window coverings. Just where you have the pointer a little bit up.
Yeah.
Here we have the window coverings, which is a style which is more reminiscent of Western Europe. And in general,
You think so? Yes.
I think so. And
I was discussing this with Gefreit Ulbricht as well, and he thought that in Eastern Europe they would have these as well. And now I've given a bit away where this picture was taken.
So my guess is totally wrong. Yeah, nice. Doesn't matter. But
doesn't matter at all. We don't have all the answers for this picture.
Exactly.
And so
yeah,
many times photo analysis is also a bit of guesswork and logical thinking. And well, the more pictures you see, the more you will learn, of course.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the fact that we trace them back. It's also that we see a lot of elements that we can use for our own impression, or not use in our impression, and say, see, we found a unicorn.
Indeed. But we will go on to the next question, and that's: can you say anything about this unit?
Oh, it's a unit that's been pulled together from all kinds of ranks, and it's why do we call it? I wouldn't say kampfgroepen, but it's a unit that's been scratched together from remnants of other units.
Yeah, indeed, and I will get to that later as well, because I have more information. But I have one last question for you.
Yeah.
What do they seem to be doing? I think that's quite clear, right?
Yeah, they're cleaning their weapons in the shit.
yeah.
With the person in the middle cleaning. Is that an MG42?
This one, you mean?
Yeah. A bit difficult to see from my end, but
it probably is. Yeah. We will get to that later as well. Okay. Well, first, now you have given all these answers, what you think this picture is about and where it was taken and stuff like that.
Yeah.
First, I will give away the description of this image,
Okay.
the official description. And it doesn't say a lot, but it says Northern France, August 1944.
Ah, okay.
So you were quite close, right?
Well, nice. Goes to show that we've looked at way too many pictures.
Yeah, I was also discussing if this guy would be typical French.
Yes.
Yes, I think so.
No,
yes,
it's the mustache that gives it away. That the style, the mustache, the jacket that comes underneath, that is not Eastern Europe. No.
Okay. So when we talk about this unit, it's also right what you say that they are pulled together from different units, probably, and we will also get that because we go to the peculiarities of this picture right now.
Yes.
The odd things, and there are many in this picture. And when we point them out, we can also give a little bit of explanation what's happening in this picture. But I'll let you start. You pointed already some things out. You said about the boots here, right?
Yes, those are Gebirgsjägers boots.
Yeah. Other things that you notice?
Let's see. Well, the pants are all the pants are a bit weird for the time period. It doesn't make sense to have that style of pants when the Kielhose was in swing. And no, but I can't properly see the guy behind him.
Which one? Behind this
Yeah.
one? This guy.
Yeah, that very, very tall guy. Hey, wait a minute. Isn't that no? No, never mind. That reminds me of
Sorry?
that reminds me of a guy who was on a certain Facebook page where you see a lot of people who were captured, and one of them is wearing a jacket which is way too small for him, and he's very, very tall.
Oh,
He looks like
I don't
that
think
guy.
it's. I don't think it's that guy in this picture. But anyway, one thing that's very obvious in this picture is that they seem to be wearing, all different kinds of uniforms. I think this guy really has a standard wool uniform.
Yeah.
But here you see a weird cap, a tropical cap, in fact. And he probably is also wearing some kind of tropical veldbluse.
Yeah.
Here we see a very weird jacket.
Wouldn't it even be a trench coat that he stole from some civilian?
I haven't seen anything like that. So we assume that this unit was indeed what we already said, get together, but that they were first stationed in the southern part of France, and that they then were pulled back to fight on the more northern part of France. And
Okay.
I have to emphasize that this is just an assumption. This is not a fact. This is what I think about it, and what I have talked about with Gevrijte Ulbricht.
Because of the fact that you see the tropical uniforms in northern Italy and in the south of France. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. So they were probably stationed there and then got into the fightings in the southern part of France, or maybe they were pulled back to the northern part of France. Anyhow, they were fighting, and they probably had casualties, so they picked up some Luftwaffe guys.
Yep.
And one thing you haven't noticed yet, but that's also very interesting about this picture, I'll point it out right now. Did you notice this?
Their early war things, but
I will zoom in a bit.
okay.
It's it's a bit difficult. At first we thought, well, maybe these are indeed early war schulterklappen, shoulder boards, and then we also thought SS. No, that's not possible. Can't be SS. Where's my pointer? I can't point it out when I'm zoomed in anyway.
No.
What this is an Osttroepen shoulder board.
Oh God! Oh, the mismatch gets better and better.
yeah, indeed. And so probably I will go to this guy. He's probably part of the Osttroepen as well. And you can't see it that well, but this guy only has one shoulder board. Only the right one.
I've seen that before. Yeah, I've seen that before. That they were lost in combat because they were torn off, or probably got stuck behind some leaves or twigs or whatever, and then got left behind. Yeah.
Yeah, and we also don't see any piping here.
No.
The color of the Waffenfarbe, which doesn't indicate which unit they are. And on the other hand, if you point out, for example, well, this one seems to have piping.
Of a light color, but that could be anything still.
Yeah, it's quite unclear. But still, my assumption is that it is indeed a unit that has been mixed up, gotten together, and then put into a group to fight. Also, what I want to point out is this guy's medal.
Yeah.
We have been discussing a lot about it. We can't figure out what it is exactly.
It's hanging right in the middle, isn't it? Isn't it the silver verbonden Abzeichen?
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. Gevrijte Ulbricht thinks it's an allgemeine Sturmabzeichen. I can't figure it out.
Also, then you need more high resolution, and that's not what you're going to get. No.
Yeah,
but I find it very interesting, their pants also. I mean, they're not typical Kuilhosen from most of the guys on the left.
They might be tropical as well. I'm not sure about these pictures, but I think this guy, his pants is very baggy.
Yes.
I don't know if that's the right word in English.
No, it's a proper word in English. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. Okay.
No, what I mean is the ones on the right look like typical M40 trousers.
But I also got another trick up my sleeve.
Oh.
Because this is not the only picture I have of this scene.
Okay.
So I'm now going to try to slide the image to the next one. I'm not sure if that's possible.
Throw it over. Hey, here we go.
It is. And now you have the same picture from a different angle.
No, you see even more shit.
And
impolitely.
Exactly what you said. These guys, these people, look very French. So there's no doubt about that.
Yes.
You see here that he's also really wearing something tropical, and that he is also really an Astropper.
Mm-hmm.
You still see them cleaning their rifles, and like you said, this is an MG.
42. Yeah.
I can see. Oh, the other one is here. You can see him just a bit. You see? There are two MGs. So one here and the one here. And unfortunately, the Abzeiger he wears has not been any clearer.
No.
Same goes for this guy over here. I think this is a verbonden Abzeiger, and this probably would be an infantry storm Abzeiger, but you can't be too sure.
Wouldn't it be fun if it's a sports Abzeiger?
Yeah, who knows? You'll never know. Also interesting is this guy seems to be sitting on a Lafette for the MG.
Oh, now that you mention it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's the things you don't see at first, but when you look closer, then you will see them. And yeah, they are probably just cleaning their rifles. I was really thinking about what are these people doing outside their houses. Maybe there's a horse here. Oh, and then I go past this officer as well.
Yep.
With an EK1.
Wearing God knows what as a jacket.
Wait. And in the previous picture, this guy also had an EK1, right?
Yeah.
So that's something that's clear. And yeah, they are standing close to a coal cellar, maybe to take shelter in if they are going to be bombarded. Who knows?
They're probably preparing to move up anyway afterwards. I mean, I don't see them staying.
And I've got one last picture of this scene.
Oh, you have 3. Ooh. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, he's wearing he's wearing a very tropical thing.
He's very tropical.
Yeah.
And he's an Oberleutnant. You can recognize that on the one pip that's there. Yeah, he's definitely wearing a tropical uniform, Kaartentasje.
Yeah.
And you also see the other guy, which I pointed out. That's
with
why
one.
I knew he had one shoulder board.
That was mean. But what's interesting also to see is, I mean, you have to figure out the context of this one. There is, of course, going to be somebody who's going to try and reenact one of these guys, which doesn't really make any sense because these are not the norm. But they have some very interesting details what can happen when you're in combat for quite some time.
Yeah. Yes, indeed, that's true.
I mean, you lose your stuff, you lose your at some point your combustion are gone, your jacket starts to look like absolutely it's been to a ringer. You lose important items. It's very interesting that they kept their Abzeichen in the meantime, but a lot of their equipment it's either somewhere probably in the cellar or not there.
I will guess the last.
Yeah,
not there. They have seen some combat, that's clear, and they look very worn out. Yeah, that those are things that happen in combat.
Oh, don't miss the guy with the one that you pointed out, where you currently have the laser pointer. He does have his combustion.
Yeah,
his pants have been ridden up completely out of them, but he does wear them.
yeah, indeed. So, I think that's all that we can get from this picture, and that we should close our episode off with this. And with that, I want to say, if there are people who watch this and who notice other things that are very interesting, or maybe have more information, throw it into the comments. Indeed. And by saying that, I want to thank everyone for listening to this first experiment. Also, let us know what you think about it, if you like it. and hopefully we will see you in the next photo analysis. Thanks for listening, and till next time.
Till next time.